I say this all the time, and I'm going to keep saying it because I believe what God is calling in this generation is a restoration of an Amos 9:11 cry where it says they rebuilt the Tabernacle of David. They rebuilt its ancient ruins. And I believe that the Tabernacle of David has been in ruins, but God is raising up a generation who will restore the Davidic cry of the Tabernacle of David, which is night and day and night. Worship, lifting a fragrance before the Lord, of a fragrance that's pleasing to his nostrils. Did we ever think that worship is not about us? Did we ever think that worship is not about our preference? Did we ever think it's not about how comfortable the pews are? Listen, in the old days, they worshiped in tents. They didn't even have air conditioning. They had metal chairs or plastic chairs. Some of them probably didn't even have a seat to sit in. They worshiped on grass. They laid on their face in grass. And we wonder why they were experiencing a greater move of God in the 19th century, in the 18th century, than what we're experiencing now. Why in 1906, my Bible says that those who behold the Lamb will go from glory to glory to glory. My Bible says the greater works than I did, you'll do. And what happens in healthy fathering and mothering is that the next generation should sit upon the shoulders of a past generation. The Tabernacle of David experienced 40 years of the glory of God. I believe full-heartedly with everything inside of me that this was the desire for Israel to inhabit. That when God came to Israel and he wanted to dwell among men, he came to Israel and he had a desire to make a resting place on the earth. And what happened in that time, what happened in that season is they rejected him, and the people rejected God. And they said, no, Moses, you go before us. And as a result, they experienced 40 years of wilderness when they could have experienced 40 years of the glory. And I believe another generation has skipped over and they've rejected the presence of God, and God's come in and he said, I want to dwell among men. And what our response has been, no, the service is too long. No, the altar call is too long. No, am I talking to somebody today? The pews are too uncomfortable. I like chairs better, where I like pews better. Or no, I like the 30-minute service because I want to be out by the time the football game is on. And we've made worship in the house of God about man's preference. We made worship in the house of God about our preference. And we brought worship from Christo-centered to man-centered. And we've worshiped man. And God says, that's okay. You can have your gatherings. You can have your gatherings. And we're wondering why there's no healings.